2019 Infiniti QX50 car review. There's a whole new kind of engine underneath the hood in the new Infiniti QX50. Like the majority of its competitors, it's a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-four, but what occurs inside is radically distinctive from anything that is here before it. For the first time in the production vehicle, there's a motor that can adjust its compression ratio and in many cases its displacement a small bit, a project that, in accordance with the company, has more than 20 years. Why bother? Varying the compression ratio intentions to maximize efficiency whether you're cruising at part throttle or running toward the red line on 22.0 pounds per square inch of boost. The good points of 2019 Infiniti QX50. Invisible and novel tech, spacious, refined, quiet, and cozy. The bad points of 2019 Infiniti QX50. We anticipated better fuel economy, the most common CVT complaints. Infiniti's VCT engine for variable compression, turbocharged, can transform how far its pistons improvement in its cylinders, which changes the engine's compression ratio, a parameter that, heretofore, ended up being fixed. Infiniti's engine can bump the compression ratio from the low of 8.0:1 into a high of 14.0:1. Changing an electric train engine's stroke usually requires a whole new crankshaft. Instead, Infiniti's engine introduces a joint relating to the crankshaft along with the connecting rods, and moves the joint that has a computer-controlled arm. In the process of changing how high the pistons move, the mechanism incidentally varies the stroke by 1.2 mm, which then causes the engine's displacement to vary slightly, from 1971 cc 14:1 to 1997 cc 8:1. It's telling that nobody has done this before. Adding extra pieces with a high-stress and critical component just like a crankshaft is much like slipping a wrecked or sit parts relating to the vertebrae. As you'd expect, the extra heavy-duty components add mass, about 22 pounds, to your moving parts on the engine. However, the design moves the crankshaft off-center, smoothing your piston's motion. Unlike many inline-four engines displacing 2.0 liters if not more, the Infiniti engine doesn't use balance shafts, which assists offset the weight from the new parts. Dynamic engine mounts keep any bad vibes from getting inside cabin. A small victory. Given which the aim of all of this monkey motion is enhanced efficiency, how good could be the resulting fuel economy? Final EPA numbers are nevertheless pending. Nevertheless, the preliminary estimates are 24 miles per gallon city and 30 highway on an all-wheel drive model, yielding a combined figure of 26 miles per gallon. Front-wheel drive versions are hoped for to do 1 mile per gallon better from the highway test, bumping the combined number to 27 miles per gallon. The very good news is that Infiniti beats all on the 2.0-liter turbo 4STU segment. Bad news? This isn't an incidence win. Comparing on their AWD versions, the QX50 bests the combined number from the 2.0-liter powered Audi Q5 and BMW X3 by 1 mile per gallon. A win can be a win though, and who doesn't love a great Rube Goldberg machine? Luxury-minded clients are more likely to love how the QX50 looks parked when in front of their houses. Its exterior design clings closely on the class norms, which implies it walks the fishing line between handsome and dull, just attractive enough to obtain the neighbors to note, although not so striking hose inspires the crooks to knock with your door. Infiniti designed some distinction to the pillar shape, however some details, including the headlights and taillights, could have been pulled from an Acura or Mazda. The interior doesn't take many risks, either. Material quality is fantastic, along with the quilted leather seats and micro-suede trim about the door panels and center console are elegant touches, but the niceties are simply just available within the top trim level. In the center stack, two touchscreens divide the infotainment labor. The upper display is designed for the navigation system, one who we should mention happens to be pulled out of a 2008 Infiniti. Below the display is the one other touchscreen which includes apps, audio controls, phone pairing, vehicle settings, and destination entry. Will it bother you which the two graphic displays don't share exactly the same fonts? It bothers us. At least the climate controls are traditional buttons that flank the bottom screen. The cabin is wide and there's a sense of space and airiness that transcends the QX50's compact segment. In fact, the QX50's new platform helps it be wider compared to the Lexus RX 350, plus the sliding bench rear seat boasts more legroom compared to the one within the longer Lexus. Along with the soft and soothing front seats, the QX50 has over enough space to comfortably accommodate 4 6-foot passengers. Drives like it looks. Driving the QX50 is analogous to considering it. It's refined and inoffensive. The transverse engine layout causes predictable, if uninspiring dynamics. Body motions are tight, and yes, it reliably goes where it's pointed. Point harder, plus the front tires give you a clear warning that they're running out of grip. Infiniti hasn't given up for the steer-by-wire system that's available within the Q50 and Q60, it's here from the QX50, too. Efforts are light, and there's a weird artificialness from the way zinc heightens efforts once the front tires are stressed. Even so, the steering is quite quick and lively off-center. Pulling away from the stop, there's what feels just like a hint of turbo lag. Some with the hesitation may be due on the continuously variable automatic transmission's sluggish responses and throttle tuning. Despite the occasional hesitation and springiness with the CVT, the engine provides real punch. All 280 lb-ft of torque can be obtained from 1600 rpm, plus the 268 horsepower can be found in at 5,600 revolutions per minute. In most driving, there's enough torque and capability to keep the CVT from being forced to spin the engine past 3,000 revolutions per minute. Should you want to venture into the tachometer's upper reaches, Infiniti claims a believable 0 to 60 mph period of 6.2 seconds for the AWD version and 6.7 for your front driver. In normal use, there's nothing remarkable or unusual about the way the QX50's engine responds to throttle inputs, which, considering what's taking inside, is itself remarkable. A digital meter labeled Power and Eco that sits relating to the speedometer and tachometer could be the only telltale if the engine is at high compression or low compression mode. We did notice a delightfully roary, almost Italianate sound because engine approaches its 6,000 revolutions per minute red line. It's a welcome personality trait in an otherwise quiet and refined vehicle. Few owners are likely to maintain your QX50's accelerator pedal floored for days on end, but when they do they'll notice the CVT mimics gear shifts to prevent having the engine balling in a fixed, high RPM under acceleration. Grab a paddle shifter along with the CVT offers up 8 preset ratios for QX50 customers who miss clearly defined gears, several that probably rounds to 0. There are 4 selectable driving modes. Eco provides throttle pedal and epidural and removes all sensitivity. Switching to Sport keeps the CVT in the watchy by preserve engine revs elevated plus the throttle awake, and Standard mode dials back the throttle response slightly and puts the CVT in a low ravine fuel saving mode. Finally, A personal mode lets the trucker choose their particular mix of settings. Pricing starts below $40,000 with the base pure trim with front-wheel drive, which enable it to exceed $60,000 for any fully loaded QX50 and essential trim with all-wheel drive, and $1,800 upgrade in anyway 3 trim levels. The new crossover enters an expanding and massive segment in which it will face so many people competing from established players, for example the Acura RDX, Audi Q5, BMW X3, Cadillac XT5, Lexus NX, Mercedes-Benz GLC, and Porsche Macan. Will QX50 buyers really care how the engine will be the first of its kind as well as a technological triumph? Probably not much. What will sell them around the QX50 are its promises of fuel economy, luxurious appointments, building, interior space, and inoffensive style. Provided the engine doesn't pull an Oldsmobile diesel or perhaps a Cadillac V8 64, the complexity and novel solution within the hood go unnoticed, and that's not the applause which the engineers deserve.